Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to the Tungal School of Basic and Applied Sciences. In the last class, we have discussed about the basic structure of root, the functions of root, and the modifications of the root to perform various functions. In today's class, we shall discuss about the structure of the stem or morphology of the stem. Right. First, we shall see some of the characteristics of the stem. Okay. Coming to the characteristics, first one, the aerial part of the plant body is collectively described as a shoot system. Aerial part means which is growing in the air. And here the main axis of this shoot system is called a stem. And the stem can be defined as the ascending part of the axis which can develop from the plumule. Ascending part means growing upward and it develops from plumule. In case of root, we discussed that the root develops from radicle. Here the shoot develops from plumule of the embryo or the seed. It is usually negatively hydrotropic, negatively geotrophic, and positively phototropic. Means it is growing out of the soil, it is growing towards the light, and it bears terminal bud and axillary bud in the axil of the leaves for growth. Axil means the angle between stem and the leaves is called axil. If the bud grows in that axil, it is called axillary bud, and if the bud is present at the tip, it is called a terminal bud, and it is differentiated into nodes and internodes. On the stem, we can clearly see the nodes and the internodes, right? And at these nodes, it produces dissimilar organs. Remember, dissimilar organs such as leaves, flowers, and fruits, etc. And it produces similar organs such as branches exogenously, that is originate from the outer side. Okay, here we can notice similar organs and dissimilar organs. Similar refers to the branches, dissimilar refers to leaves, flowers, etc. Sometimes the young stem is green and is capable of performing photosynthesis. We shall see the types of bud here. Bud may be vegetative or bud may be floral. Again, vegetative bud is of the following types. The birds which develop into branches are called vegetative birds, and the birds which develop into flowers are called floral birds. Means if the bird develops into branches, it is called vegetative. If the bird develops into flower, it is called a floral bud. Vegetative and floral. The vegetative bud can be of following types. First one, apical bud, means it is located at the apex of the stem. Apex means tip. Okay, you can see here the apical bud or at the apex. Axillary bud, which is located in the axils of the leaves. Axillary bud, which is located in the axils of the leaf. Accessory bud, located on the sides of the above the axillary bud. Means on this axillary bud, if there is another bud, it's called accessory bud or extra bud or additional bud. One more thing, adventitious bud, which is located at the areas other than nodes. Usually the bud develops at nodal areas, nodal regions, or at the nodes. But if the bud develops other than nodes, it is called adventitious bud. For example, if the bud develops on the leaves, on the corner of the leaves, on the notches of the leaf, just like bryophyllum, if the bud develops other than the node, it is called adventitious bud. As usual, floral bud, if the bud develops into flower, it is called floral bud. Coming to the functions of the stem, the primary functions of the stem are to produce and support lateral appendages such as branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. Means the stem has to produce the branches, support the branches. It has to produce the leaves, it has to support the leaves. It has to produce the flowers, it has to support the flowers. And it has to produce the fruits and it has to support the fruits. Means producing all these parts as well as supporting them, balancing them. Okay. One more thing, to bring all the leaves so as to get sufficient light for photosynthesis, it has to produce branches. Second main function is conduction of water and minerals. Conduction means we said earlier that roots absorb water and minerals. That absorbed water and minerals must be conducted, carried upward to the shoot system. So the conduction of food and water takes place through the xylem and phloem, which are present in the stem. And the stem may, however, get modified to perform additional or functions such as, means normal function is balancing or conduction. Other than that, the stem also perform many other functions. To perform those functions, the stem undergoes modifications. The stem undergoes many modifications. Okay, for the purpose of storage of food and water. Okay, as we have seen the modified root for storage, here also some stems will also undergo modification for the storage of food and water. Also, proliferation and propagation means production of new generation, production of new plant is called proliferation or propagation. For this purpose also the stem will help. And procuring support for climbing means the leaves must go to the area where they get light for photosynthesis. So to carry those leaves to the upper area, to the aerial parts, the stem has to increase its length, it has to bend towards the light so that the leaves can get sufficient light. So only the stem help in climbing of the plant. Next important function, perennation. Very important. Focus this word, perennation. To tide over unfavorable conditions means we know the term dormancy means entry of the seed to the inactive state of inactivity. Means in during unfavorable condition, the seeds or the plant do not reproduce. The plant do not continue to grow until it gets favorable condition. In that condition, it will just form the seed. The seed will reduce the moisture, but it retains the embryo live, so that when it gets sufficient water, sufficient food, it again starts development into new plant. Lastly, synthesis of food by photosynthesis means in some cases the stem becomes green and perform photosynthesis. And lastly, we shall have a brief idea about modifications of the stem. That is, we can divide into three categories. Firstly, underground modification of the stem, subaerial modification of the stem, and aerial modification of the stem. Coming to underground modification, we have four types: rhizome, tuber, corm, and bulb. Under subaerial modifications, we have runner, stolon, offset, and sucker. Under the aerial modification, we have tendril, we have thorn, phylloclade, cladode, and bulbil. Like that, we have many types of modifications of stem. We shall discuss individual modifications of the stem in next classes. Okay, till that, keep learning. See you in the next class. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.